storytime vlog. And I've been really excited to make this vlog, like, since I got home. And so much happened over the weekend. I actually didn't know how I was gonna fit it onto a vlog. And I was still kind of in shock from the weekend. Like, that just happened. I didn't know what to say. So now I'm back home. And I did another one of these storytime vlogs last year, but this one's gonna be much different. Because actually a lot more happened this year than last year. And before I say anything, I just want to thank everybody who I met at Indy PopCon. It was such an amazing con all together, and I had such a blast. It was probably one of the most fun weekends I've had. It was definitely one of the most jam-packed weekends I had. I ran a lot, and I barely run, but anyway. So just thank you to everybody who I met at Indy PopCon. I especially have to thank Level 2 Gamers, because I got to hang out with them like the whole weekend, and it was just so cool to get to hang out with those guys. And I'll be leaving their channel and link in the description. I definitely recommend go checking them out. They're so awesome and so nice. And if you saw the video I posted a couple days ago, that was titled A Very Special Surprise. That was all them. They decided to film that. That was just completely out of like the kindness of their heart to do that, and that made me smile so much. And I actually smile every time I watch it right now too. They absolutely made the weekend 100 times better. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the vlog. So oh boy, you better grab your popcorn, get in a comfy seat on the couch, Billy, because we're gonna get into a long story here. Because I'm gonna start right at the very beginning. I was born. But yeah, I'm gonna start at the very beginning of the weekend and just go throughout the events of the entire weekend. So let's get into it. So we left for Indy PopCon on Thursday, and we wanted to get down there on Thursday because we got there on the Friday last year really late, which was a terrible idea because the con was like jam-packed with people. It was our first con that we had really been to. We were all really excited and we were all really nervous about what was going on. We didn't know where to go. We didn't know who to talk to. It was just chaotic and hectic. So this year we knew that the con opened up on Thursday and you could get like registration in and you could get your badges and look around the hall, see where to go, and just know what to do. So we got to the con a day early and that helped out a bunch because the con was actually in a completely different hall than last year. And we didn't know that, so we went down the wrong hall and there was like a contractor convention was down there. So we finally found the right hall to go down, and it was a lot bigger than last year. All the panel rooms were like double the size than last year. I think the con hall was double the size than last year, and the main floor of the con was absolutely huge. So we were just walking down the hall like nobody was there. It was really nice just to be able to walk down the hall and learn where everything was on the map. And then we got to registration, and I was taking pictures of gosh dang everything. Oh, Instagram, you better be ready. But anyway, so I was just taking pictures all around the con. We were staying in a hotel that was connected to the con, so we got to go down these really pretty skywalks every day. And I took a bunch of pictures of the skywalk. So yeah, so we finally made our way down the hall, and we were going to registration to get all of our badges. And last year, I just got the generic 3-day badge because I had never really experienced a con before. The only other con I had been to was like a day con, and we went on a Thursday, and that was just a terrible idea because we pretty much just paid to get into the exhibitor hall. But anyway, I had such a great time at PopCon last year. I decided to save up and get a VIP pass because I really wanted to experience even more of the con and just take advantage of everything the con had to offer. It was a really good choice in the long run because I took advantage of everything that badge had to offer. So I was going to get my badge during registration, and on Twitter I was talking with a group of friends called the Level 2 Gamers, and we were like, hey, we should meet up sometime over the weekend and just hang out and talk. And I said that would be freaking awesome because they're super cool dudes. I went to their panel last year and it was fantastic. I was a shy person in the front row. I know, I was shy, gosh dang it. Boy, has that changed. But anyway, so we agreed to meet up, and actually on that Thursday, I was walking back to my room because I'd already got my badge and registration, and I ran into them, and that was freaking awesome. So we stood in the hallway, we talked for a little bit and caught up about some things, and then they showed me around like where their panel room was because they had another panel going on that weekend, and we were just looking around the show floor and stuff like that, and we both eventually like had to go our separate ways. So we said bye, and we agreed that we were gonna meet up sometime over the weekend at the convention because it's sort of a smaller convention, so we knew we were gonna see each other again. So that was totally fine. I was just happy I got to see the guys on the Thursday. So I was just hopping all back to my room, and that was pretty much how the Thursday started. Got the badge, met up with some friends, and then I went to go sleep, which was not an option because I stayed up super late that night being super excited. And so the next day was officially the first day of the con. The exhibitor hall didn't open until 2 o'clock, and I think the first thing I had to do, I think was at 2:30. So the Craig Gameplays panel was at 2:30, and I knew I wanted to go to that. I love their channel, and I really wanted to see them over the weekend. But with the VIP pass, I got to go into the exhibitor hall 30 minutes early, which really helped because it wasn't as crowded, and most of the panels that I went to usually started whenever the exhibitor hall opened. So it really helped to just have like that 30 minutes of cool down time to just walk around, look at the merch booths, and get to talk to some of the creators there. So I remember on that Friday, we all woke up. I was there with my brothers and some other family members who wanted to come to the con and enjoy it. And the first thing we did was we have a tradition whenever we go to Indianapolis, especially this convention center. There's a place called Dick's Last Resort. And if you don't know what that place is, I highly recommend going and looking it up because it's a place that does service with attitude. And so like the waiters will like joke around with you a little bit. They'll make fun of you a little bit. And it's just a really funny atmosphere to be into. And their food is fantastic, by the way, too. So it was just a win-win in general. So we got to the place, we sat down, we ordered our food, we were talking a little bit. The waiters were talking around with us because we were like some of the only people there because we got there really early. So the lunch rush hadn't really started yet because we wanted to get to the con early too. And if you've ever been to Dick's Last Resort, you know that they'll give you like a fun little paper hat that says something stupid on it that's personalized to you. So I know whenever I went, I had braces. Mine said I couldn't go through metal detectors because of my braces. Self-esteem. But anyway, so I was like dying laughing at that last year, and so everyone around my table got their hats, and we were laughing and stuff like that because they were really funny, and I was the last one to get my hat, but all of a sudden, the waiter comes over. This isn't even in the con yet, and that is like one of the coolest things that happened over the weekend. And so one of our waiters comes over and he goes, "You look familiar," and I was like, "Oh, do I?" And I had this big old beefy camera around my neck, so I thought he was just like making fun of the camera because I wanted to like take pictures of everything. And so he was kind of giving me a look like, "No, I know you. Like, maybe you remember me from last year. I was a lot more shy, but this plaid is pretty unmistakable." And so he walked away and he went, "No, I know you from somewhere." And I was like, "Okay, that's not sketchy at all, but whatever." And so eventually, like, he comes back with my hat, but I didn't see the waiter write on my hat. Our waiter didn't write on that hat. The other waiter had handed him the hat and brought that hat over to me, and I was like, okay, like, this is gonna be funny. Like, what's it gonna say? Everyone at my table's mouths dropped, and I was like, man, it must be really freaking funny. All right, cool. And I was like, what does it say? What does it say? Because I didn't want to take my hat off, and they went, "It says Claradactyl lookalike." I was taken aback. I'm like, okay, no, really, what does it say? Like, they went, "No, it freaking says Claradactyl lookalike. Like, take off your hat." This was the exact hat I got. I had to keep it because that was just too cool. And they spelled it right and everything, and it has a little ditto face on there too. And that was so crazy to me. Like, that was the first time I had ever been recognized for the channel before, and I was like, ah! Like, I was silently screaming in my head and screaming out loud because that's what I do. But anyway, so I asked our first waiter, I was like, did you do that? Do you know? And he was like, bruh. And then he walked away. I immediately see the other waiter come back over, and he goes, I knew you from somewhere. And I was like, oh my freaking gosh! I was like, you know the channel? I was freaking out over someone who knew the channel because that was such a huge deal to me. I have never been recognized for the channel before or anything that has been on the channel, and of Dick's Last Resort of all places. And the guy went, "You're really loud, like you need a muzzle on you, girl." And he was like, "How do you guys put up with her?" And they just went, "I don't freaking know." And then he finally, like, we were talking for a little bit, joking around about the channel and how much I yell and scream. So we went back to the kitchen, and then our original waiter comes out and he goes, "That guy just showed me your videos." Wow. And then they made a makeshift muzzle out of a takeaway box and a rubber band. And I still have that muzzle to this day. I didn't bring it in here though, but still. And I was smiling freaking ear to ear right then and there, like, oh my gosh, this is happening. And everyone else at the table was like, oh, that's really cool. And I was like, and that was before the con even started. So I already knew it was gonna be a fantastic weekend. And that was just a great way to start it off. So I kept that hat, and I swear to gosh, that hat will probably be in here till the day I die. But anyway, so then me and my brothers decided we were gonna go over to the con, look around the show floor, look around the cosplayers, because the cosplay there is really freaking cool. And so we went over to the con, and we were walking around and everything like that, and we were taking pictures of the cosplayer because the show floor didn't open for, I think, another 20 minutes. I'll put some of the cosplay photos I got up right now. Editing magic. And it was the first time I had used my big old beefy camera, which I will be using more of, by the way, so woo, I'm excited for that. But anyway, so we were walking around taking pictures of the really cool cosplayers, and I knew I needed to get my Crank Gameplays Edgar Beagley band for their signing early because that sold out like a bunch last year. So I went over there, and thankfully the autograph bands are free, which is really, really nice of Indy PopCon and the creators too. That's one of the reasons also why I love Indy PopCon, because if you get a wristband, you're guaranteed to meet them that day, and they only have enough for the line, so that way you don't get turned away while you're in the line or at the end of the day. So I got my wristband over there, we were waiting in line, and we went to the opening ceremonies. They were really cool. It talked about Indy PopCon, and this was the 5th year of Indy PopCon, which is a really huge milestone and is really cool. And by that time, I was allowed to go on the show floor. So they announced that all the VIP and all the press could come into the show floor, and I just shuffled my way in there, super excited, like, ah! It was like I was walking into a nerdy Disneyland. I loved it. And so I walked in there, and I knew that Gritty Sugar was gonna be there at her own booth, and I absolutely love Gritty Sugar's art and Gritty Sugar's animations, and she's done like animations for Markiplier, Crank Gameplays, Jacksepticeye, like a bunch of huge YouTubers, and her art is unmistakable and just really cool in general. So I knew I had to get something from her booth, and so I wanted to see her booth first. I had a feeling it was gonna be pretty packed all weekend. So I looked at the map and figured out where her booth was, and I wandered on over to her booth, and there was a little bit of a line, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'll wait in line. So I was like looking at all the merch and all the art, and I was like, I wonder who's holding up the line, and I peeked my head forward, and by what some odd chance, it just happened to be Crank Gameplays and Beagley, and I was like, oh shoot, because throughout the weekend, I really wanted to meet them and talk to them and stuff like that. And so we said hi, they were talking with Gritty Sugar, and I was looking at the art, and then they looked at us and they said, how are you guys doing? Because it was me and another girl who was next to me who also wanted to look at the Gritty Sugar art too. I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing great. It's nice to meet you guys. And I told them that I love their channels and everything like that. And then they said, do you want a picture? And I said, frick yeah. And the other girl who was in line offered to take the picture too, and I'll put that picture up right now. Because I looked at them and I said, can I get a really stupid picture? And they went, heck yeah! And we're just like, don't mess with us, we're the cool kids in town. And I really like that photo because it always makes me laugh whenever I look at it. And they were so cool about it and just so nice. And so they eventually had to go. I said hi to Gritty Sugar, and they went on their own way. And I got some merch from the Gritty Sugar booth too. I got a My Hero Academia print because I freaking love that show. But anyway, and so I was walking away like, man, that was really cool. Today's been a great day. Not even like 5 minutes later, I got a notification on my phone from the level 2 gamers, and it was a video that said, hey, we have some people that want to wish you a happy 300 subscribers. And my eyes got 2 times bigger out of my head, which I didn't think was possible. My jaw dropped to the floor, and I went, there's no way. And so I looked at the video, and I sat on the floor. I moved over to the side of the con. I sat on the floor. I opened my phone, and oh baby, I was a firework in that moment, Katy Perry, because I freaking exploded with so much joy. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. Like that these really big YouTubers who I actually look up to and know about their channel know about the channel now. The level 2 gamers actually showed them a video of mine, and that's why in the video they were like, really energetic. Wow. And that meant the absolute world to me. Like I said at the beginning of the video, they were interviewing Crank Gameplays and Gerbeegly, and that interview was up on their channel too if you want to see that. And then after the interview, they had some time left, and they decided to spend that time just showing them the channel, because I had told the level 2 gamers the day before. On the Thursday, they asked, so who are you here to see? And I went, oh yeah, Crank Gameplays, Gerbeegly, Gritty Sugar. And they went, oh yeah, that's really cool. And so they remembered that, and that's why they took that video. And that just meant so much to me. Like that they would take the time, that they would all take the time out of their day just to do one little thing that means the absolute world to me. I smile every time I watch that video. Every time I just see the thumbnail, I'm so happy, and it inspires me so much to just keep on recording and keep on going and try even freaking harder with YouTube. I'm not getting emotional, okay? It's fine, I'm fine. Anyway, and that was like the first hour into the con, and I was like, this is one of the best days of my life. I was having such a great con. It was already so much better than last year when I just like waddled around shy and afraid of talking to everybody at any booth. So after that, I was already smiling ear to ear. I was already having a fantastic day. Next was the Crank Gameplays panel, and I sat down in there, and then Tom from the level 2 gamers came up to me and went, I thought you'd like that video. And I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't thank him enough. I still can't thank him enough. That was so awesome. He airdropped the video on my phone, and that's why I was able to upload it the other day. And then they explained to me, they're like, yeah, you told us you wanted to see Crank Gameplays and Gerbeegly, and we thought that would be a fun little surprise. I was like, thank you so much. That was awesome. And then they had to go back because they recorded the entire Crank Gameplays panel. So if you want to see that too, go over to their channel even more. That's even more incentive. And so they recorded the whole panel. The Crank Gameplays panel was absolutely amazing. It was so fun and lighthearted, and Ethan did an amazing job in the panel. And the ending of the panel was like, oh my gosh, there was a very emotional dad at the panel who made me cry a little bit, who made my brothers cry a little bit. It was very emotional, and nobody was expecting that. But anyway, so after the panel, I wanted to walk around the show floor a little bit because I still had my Crank Gameplays and Gerbeegly wristband to get into line and meet them and talk to them even more. And I was definitely going to talk to them about the video that I just saw because I met them before they took place in that video. So I definitely wanted to thank them for being in the video and thank them for just taking the time out of their day to do that too. So I went in the line there. Met some awesome people in the line. That's one of the other things that I love about Indy PopCon. Even when you're waiting in line for a creator, the people in the line are so awesome and so kind. So it was eventually my turn to meet up with Crank Gameplays and Gerbeegly, and I went up there, I recorded the whole thing. I don't know if we'll put that in this video or in the vlog. So I went up to them and I was like, hey, I think some friends of mine might have showed you my channel today, and that meant a lot to me, and just thank you so much. And they went, oh yeah, you're really energetic. They were really nice and really cool about it. I took a quick little video of them of just us dancing around having a good time. And yeah, that was really cool. And that was like the only other thing that I really wanted to do on Friday that was like scheduled and everything like that. So then I met up with the level 2 gamers, and we just hung out the rest of the day. I just got to hang out with them and their crew the rest of the day, and it was just a lot of fun. Someone also put like a bounty on my head, and I got escorted by some Star Wars troopers, and I got a picture with them, and that was the whole thing. So yeah, after getting abducted by troopers, it was eventually going down to the end of the con. I think we all stayed till like the show floor closed, and after that I had to go back to my hotel room and get some dinner and everything like that. So we said goodbye, and that was the Friday of the con. And on the Saturday, I definitely had a lot more going on than I did on the Friday. The Friday was the slow going up to the Saturday, which was a big explosion of everything that was happening. So I woke up really early on Saturday morning because the con opened at 10, which means I was able to get in there at 9:30. Again, I took advantage of all the things that I had to do. And the first thing I did whenever I got down to the con was got my wristband to meet Crank Gameplays and Gerbeegly again, because last year I only got to meet them one day, so this year I definitely wanted to meet them any day that I could. So I got down there, and there was a staff member who knows me pretty well at the con because we always saw each other in line, and we talked for a little bit at the con. Really nice. He saw me coming down the line. He went, I already got you covered, bro. Here's your blue wristband. And I was like, how'd you know? So I already had my wristband, and I was gonna go into the con. I was taking pictures of the con. I got stopped by some really cool people. There was an energy drink company who just somehow managed to stop me of all people. I may have bought 2 energy drinks from them, and that was the best idea of my entire life. But anyway, so yeah, they stopped me. I got to try 3 samples of energy drinks, and then I ended up buying 2 energy drinks. They were really good, by the way. And I felt really good the rest of the day. But anyway, and then all of a sudden I saw like a sign at the end of the room, and it said One Shot on it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. They're selling One Shot merch. I'm gonna go by there and see them because I'm playing the game on the channel, and I really enjoyed playing the game. And one of the things I love about One Shot was the art style. So I was hoping they were selling like some prints and stuff like that. So I wandered on over there, and I was looking around the booth, and all of a sudden I see a little sticky note that says, I'm the developer of One Shot. And I was like, oh shoot, really? Like I didn't even know they were gonna be there or anything like that. And so I immediately was like, I need to get something from this booth because that is so awesome. It was so nice to meet her. She was really nice and really friendly too. I told her that I really liked her game and that I was playing it on the channel, and she was like, oh, desk for the rest of my life in my point of view so I can always see it. But anyway, I also got a couple keychains from her because she was selling some really cool meme keychains. And yeah, it was just super awesome to meet her. So I wandered around the con a little bit, probably bought a little bit too much stuff. But anyway, so the first thing I wanted to do that morning was a thing called an improv comedy workshop. And one thing about me is I absolutely love improv. Like, that's what I do on the channel all the freaking time. I think it's just so cool, and it was so cool to like actually meet professional improv people there. So I wandered in there and I sat down. So they were really nice people. They were talking about improv. They were really inspirational, gosh dang it. Like, I had to record some of it too. So I asked a question because they had a Q&A that was really cool. They were really nice and really fun. And after that, they said they were going to be doing some improv games and asked for volunteers. And you better know, my hand shot up in the air like a rocket. And so we picked 2 people out of the front row, and I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna give up. So I raised my hand still in the air, and I kind of locked eyes with him, and he knew my name because I asked a question, and he went, sorry, did you have another question? And I went, no, I just really want to be in the game. And he went, get your ass up here. And I was like, like that's exactly what he said. And I was like, okay. So I wandered on up there, and everybody else was like, oh, this is cool. And I was like, having so much fun. And the first game we played was called Categories. And if you don't know how to play that game, that's 2 people get a category, and our category happened to be girls' names. So we would go back and forth as fast as we can saying girl names. So the person who was in front of me was a professional improv comedy person, and we were going back and forth. And so it was like Sarah, Sally, Tina, and then I didn't know what else to say, so I went, Jeremiah Sue. And everybody in the crowd was just cracking up about it, and that made my day. And the only thing I could think to say after that was, does it count? And he went, buddy, everything counts in this game. And I high-fived him. He went, yeah, but seriously, go to the back of the line because that didn't count. And I was like, oh, frick. And that was the game Categories. Everyone in our line got to go through it with a professional comedy person. And after that, we just played more improv comedy games, and it was an absolute blast. I had such a great time. And by the time those improv games were done, the panel was done. And the next thing I had to do was the Crane Gameplay and Beagley signing again because that went on from noon to 2. But I asked somebody in line, I was like, hey, I have a wristband, and I know that the wristband is valid from noon to 2. So do I have to get in the line now, or can I wait? And he's like, yeah, you can wait like an hour or an hour and a half to get in line. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I walked around the show floor with my brothers for a little bit. We looked at some really cool things, had some really cool artists again, bought a lot of things, because last year I didn't buy anything at PopCon except a t-shirt. And so I remember the line was open from noon to 2. So I got in the line at 1 o'clock, and I met the most amazing people in that line on this Saturday. It was really cool to meet them and talk to them, and we just talked about YouTube and YouTubers we'd like to watch. You get me started on a topic that has anything to do with YouTube, I will just explode and keep talking and talking, even more than I already do. We were talking about Markiplier, we were talking about Crank Gameplay, we were talking about like Rooster Teeth, and just all the above. It was so cool to get to talk to those people. And I just recorded a little video again of them just saying hi and everything like that. And then I said, thank you for your time. And I got to go off the stage and meet up with the people I met in line. And it was just really cool to get to talk to those people in line. They were just really cool to talk to and really fun. I made the line go by way faster. So yeah. And the next thing that was going on was actually the Level 2 Gamers panel. And their panel was talking about like the difference between YouTube and Twitch, which I was actually really interested in because I guess this is a little bit of an announcement. I have been definitely thinking about going over to Twitch and doing some live streams while still doing the every other day on YouTube, definitely. But like in between those days, if I have a video done on time, or if I just really want to live stream a game, I have been definitely thinking about doing some live stream. But I've been really nervous and wanted to learn more, and their panel was very insightful and educational, and I learned a lot of their panel too. And it was just a really, really fun panel. I think that'll be up on their channel later if you want to see the full panel. If you want to learn more about the difference between Twitch versus YouTube too, I definitely recommend checking it out. I learned a lot of that panel, and so I remember immediately after their panel, the Crane Gameplays Anger Beagley panel was going on the main stage, so I went up and I congratulated the Level 2 gamers on the great panel. They immediately understood that I had to go because they knew the Crane Gameplays panel was after them, so we said bye, and their panel was a lot of fun too. They did a whole reenactment of how they first met. It was like a theater, but anyway, and then they got to Q&As. It was just a really good, fun panel altogether, and just really fun to watch. After that, the other panels that I really wanted to go to were later that night, so I was gonna go back to my hotel room, just relax for a little bit, and I think it was around like 6 or 7 o'clock at the time because I looked around the show floor a little bit more, and then I walked back to my hotel room, got something to eat, and I was just out like a light. I went in that bed and I was like, oh, I didn't know how tired I was. So yeah, after getting that really good night's sleep, it was the last day of the con, unfortunately, and it was Sunday, and it's always on the Sunday at the con that everything winds down a little bit more, but I actually didn't have a lot going on that day too. I went over to the show floor again for the 30 minutes that I had and looked around there, bought some really good smelling soap, I bought some more pins, I bought another gritty sugar print, and the first thing that was going on that morning was the Gert Beakley panel, and it was his first ever panel, and man, he killed it. That was an amazing panel. He even got moved to the larger showroom. He was supposed to be in the medium-sized panel room, but people were lined up to get in because it was his first panel, and people were really excited to see Gert Beakley, so they moved him into the large panel room, which is already freaking, like, amazing to be a part of. Again, that whole panel is up in the Level 2 Gamers if you want to go see his first panel ever. It was really, really good. And to open opening story that he told was really good. I thought it was fake, and the whole time he was like, this is not fake, this actually happened to me. And it was an intense story, gosh dang it. But anyway, after that, the Q&A was open, and the questions were really fun and lighthearted, and he did a fantastic job answering them. And I was just captivated by the whole panel. It was really good. It kept me entertained the whole time. So yeah, really good panel. But anyway, after that, I just walked around the show floor with some of the friends that I made in line the other day, and I had to leave at noon, so I was still walking around the show floor, because again, I had from noon till 2 to go to the signing of Crank Gameplays and Gerpeekly. Walked around the show floor, met up with the level 2 gamers, and I told them I was leaving a little bit later that afternoon, so we said our goodbyes. I told them a huge thank you for letting me be able to hang out with them that whole weekend, and just being a part of the con with them. Like, that was really cool, and they were so nice the whole entire weekend, and they just absolutely made the weekend so much better. So I got a really cool picture with them. I'll put that up right now. And yeah, after that, I went to the Crank Gameplays and Gerpeekly signing. I asked them a couple YouTube questions over there. They were very kind and answered those questions really well. Like, and some really good tips that I'm definitely gonna follow now, like when it comes to analytics, uploading, and just like all YouTube-y stuff and all kinds of stuff like that. But yeah, I got one final hurrah of a video with them, so that was really cool. I don't think I ever like followed the rule of like picture signing. I always got a video with them because I have a terrible memory. But yeah, that was the last thing I wanted to do that day, and then the last thing that was on my list. So after that, I said goodbye to some of my con friends. It got a little bit emotional, but we said goodbye. I looked at the really cool vendors booths one last time, and then I got in the car and I had to drive home. So that was my Indy PopCon weekend. There's just so much that happened over the weekend. It was such an amazing jam-packed weekend. Like I said, I still like can't even believe that it's over and that I'm home now. And I am incredibly excited and ready to make even more videos and try even harder with like editing things and stuff like that, and uploading different types of content. So excited to show you guys what I got in store. So yeah, and again, a huge thank you to everybody who I met at the con. All the staff at the con was fantastic. They were so nice and kind. A huge thank you to level 2 gamers for, like I said, making the weekend absolutely phenomenal. Without you guys, the con definitely wouldn't have been as great as it was. Thank you to Crank Gameplays and Gerpeekly for being so nice and kind the whole weekend too, and being so amazing and just like a huge part with your community. That's awesome. And a huge thank you to Indy PopCon and just making my year, because this was a fantastic weekend and definitely one of the best weekends that I've had. And that was the Indy PopCon weekend. So yeah, and again, I have to thank you guys all so much for being a huge part of the community as well on the channel. Like, without you guys, I wouldn't have been able to meet these awesome creators. I wouldn't have been able to have the experiences that I've had. YouTube has changed my life, and you guys have changed my life in so many ways, and I can't thank you guys enough. And I'm not getting emotional, I swear to gosh, but I might. But anyway, again, I cannot thank you guys enough, because you guys are the ones who definitely make the channel what it is. So yeah, thank you guys for being so awesome and supportive of the channel and just being such a wonderful and kind community. Like, I read your guys' comments every day, and your comments just light up my whole day. And they just make me smile so much, because you guys are always so funny in the comments, first of all. Especially the last skit that got up, the hammock skit. Your guys' comments were amazing. And I can't thank you enough for changing my life and being able to help me with these experiences that I've been through, and getting the channel to the milestone that it's at right now, getting it to 300 subscribers. Like, that means so much to me, and that's all of you guys too. Thank you guys for supporting the videos, watching the videos, and just helping me be able to live my passion and do what I absolutely love to do. But anyway, thank you, Indy PopCon, for a fantastic weekend. I'm gonna leave this video here. If you guys like this video, please like the whole second. I'll see you to do more storytime type vlogs like it. But thank you so much for watching. Sending out, guys, in the next video. Bye!